Devin Kogan, and we are here in the EW Comic-Con studio presented by Toyota Corolla, and I am so excited to be here with the cast of Black Widow. Woo! Guys, how's it going? You guys just got off stage.
Yeah, we are
Marvel.
getting on a plane after this interview and flying back to London to continue making this
straight back to work.
We have shooting.
To continue a scene that we started just before we left. We're right in the middle, right?
So you literally pressed pause to come here to Comic-Con.
Yes, we did.
So tell me a little bit about the reaction about walking out on stage, and like you guys got the crowd. What was that like to finally kind of show the world a little bit of this movie?
It's awful. It's terrible.
You got through it, though.
People are just
I'll
very
take
excited
that
and full of love. No, people are like super excited and like just loving this whole thing. This whole Marvel universe
David
is so
hates that.
beloved. I hate having people love me. No, it's really nice. I mean, what can you say? I feel like we answer these questions a million times, and like
Well,
all
a
I can
lot
say
of you
over and
guys
over
have
again
never
is,
been.
it's so exciting.
Like, you guys have
Like,
never
I
been
just
to
say that
Comic-Con.
over and over again. I want to say something different.
What did you guys think it was like?
I'd never been. It was the love in the room was the passion was
You
intense,
actually
right?
can't see where where they stop. You just see a black. It just goes into infinity.
Yeah.
It's pretty mega.
But also how
love.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I was about to say. Just how loving. No, after you. This is the thing with English people. We're always
I'll
after you.
apologize for the rest of the interview.
Scarlett's like, okay.
Yeah, they were just so loving. There was so much energy and love for it, and so it's exciting.
Absolutely. So, I mean, Scarlett, you talked about this a little bit on stage, but what is it like for you? This is a character you've played for almost a decade now. What is it like you followed her on such a journey? What is it like to come and focus on like this very specific point in her life where it's her story. She is the title character, the starring role.
Yeah, it's really, it's pretty surreal. I mean, where we find Natasha in her life at this point it's a very specific place. I mean, she really is in a dark place where she's got no one to call and nowhere to go, and no one to call and nowhere to go, and she's really kind of grappling with her own self. I think like if there's ever like when something huge explodes and then all the pieces are landing and you have that kind of moment of like stillness where you like don't know what to do next, like that's kind of the moment that she's in, and in that moment you actually have to like face yourself, and it's something. I don't think it's a movie that I don't think I could have made this film 10 years ago. I just wouldn't have even have had the confidence to do it, I think, as an actor and then also as just like a person. So I think hopefully that the 10 years of life will make this film that much richer and more compelling.
That makes a lot of sense.
We'll see.
Yeah, and so
We'll know more after this week.
right as you guys go back to set.
When we get back and finish the
Back to
scene.
work.
So, you're introducing a whole new cast of characters. I was wondering if you guys could kind of sort of walk me through kind of briefly, like, we're meeting a lot of new people. David, tell us a little bit about, you play Alexei.
I play a character called Alexei Shostakov. He is, that is his, by day name, but at night he becomes the rock star, the Red Guardian. He was, in the Cold War, the Americans were developing weaponry, nuclear weapons, and the Soviets were responding. And so the Americans developed Captain America, and the Soviets responded with something called the Red Guardian. So he is kind of a
Much
super...
better.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you. Someone who... So he's... But he's in a way, he's a super soldier. He has this thing to him, but he's also a very complicated guy. He has a lot of flaws and a lot of idiosyncrasies. And so in that way, it's a very rich character. I mean, one of the great things about Marvel movies in general, especially this one, I felt, was when it was pitched to me by our extraordinary director, Kate Shortland, who is an unbelievable filmmaker. She said to me, she was like, okay, so this guy is this, and he does this, and like blah, 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 blah. And I immediately went, oh, yeah, okay, yeah, because and then she was like, no, but then this, and then he's also this, and then this happens. And that complexity, I mean, I don't want to give away any of the things.
you
but
basically
like,
just sold the story.
Oh my God, this one. Let's get to your character.
Yeah.
Shall we? Let's jump.
No, carry on.
Let's
I was
jump. Why
really
don't you
interested
Oh my
in what you
God,
were
I'm so
saying.
bored with myself. Please. Florence Pugh, wonderful. wonderful actress, plays.
Have you forgotten?
Yeah, say the full name.
No, you don't know the last name of your character. True or false? You don't actually know the last name
Elena
of your
de
character.
Viúva.
There you go.
Came out.
Yelena
She
Belova.
looked that up on Wikipedia.
So tell us about
as if.
so tell us about
As
Yelena,
if.
and we got to see some awesome fight scene footage at the panel today. Tell me a little bit about kind of who she is.
That was our first week of shooting.
Are you serious?
We prepped for it, and then everything that you saw today in Hall H, that was one of the first days on set. Was like, oh hey guys,
It's like, hey,
now
nice to
just
meet you. I'm just gonna choke you
basically
for
try and kill
choke
one
you before I
another
shake your
for
hand.
the next 5 days, and that's what we did. And now we love each other. So.
to air it out. Air it out.
Got to hit it with that really intense.
But no, I play Yelena, and it's like Natasha's sister figure. They kind of meet one another just like we saw in that fight sequence, and it was a very intense and kind of was quite heightened and heated, and it was an exciting first scene to shoot and actually to see the reaction. We were clutching each other when we were watching the video on the massive screen. It's like
Florence is my safety blanket.
That's a good thing to have.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I know.
That's
They're
helpful.
very sweet on set. I came on set the other day and they were holding hands as they walked away from the scene. I was like, these guys have really bonded.
After beating the crap out of each
Sometimes
other.
you just have to break a plate over somebody's head.
You know,
Right,
exactly.
before you
Get
really
to
get to know
the
them.
Sometimes you just have to waterboard someone, and then you're fine.
So,
No more.
so T,
Somebody
tell us
from
a
Marvel
little bit
comes in and
about.
carries you away.
So T, tell us a little bit about the character that you play.
Oh yeah, I play Mason, and he's like a fixer. He's kind of the guy who can get things done if you're a spy or a superhero and you need a little bit of extra help. Sort you out. I work all the time, and I guess it's a bit of a complex relationship with Natasha because obviously ostensibly we've got this kind of like business transaction, but I think there's a little bit of a kind of
A little what?
just a little like I don't know, romantic frisson.
Two people
Okay.
who come from similar backgrounds who meet in random places.
Exactly.
me
I
and
mean,
you.
Heavy machinery.
I mean, it sounds hot already.
Lots of artillery.
And then Rachel, tell us a little. You play Melina, is that right? What can you tell us about her?
Melina has been cycled through the Black Widow Red Room procedure, would you call it? Program, thank you, P word, yeah. Program 5 times at this point in her life. So she's quite a seasoned spy and assassin, and she's also deeply involved in a kind of scientific experiment, which I cannot tell you about because it's part of the story we can't talk about.
So, I mean, tell me a little bit, because the footage we saw, tell me a little bit about the tone of this movie, because the footage we saw, it has this sort of European spy movie. How would you describe it?
It's hard to describe because it actually, like most Marvel movies, has like it's big and small at the same time. It's got, I mean, there's tons of stuff that we've shot that we couldn't even prepare in time for this. There's huge, the scope of the movie is both huge and then also incredibly intimate. But I think the best way to describe it so far, I think it looks like a Kate Shortland movie, and that I think is the best way to kind of sum it all.
Very well said. Very well said.
Yeah, here.
So, I mean, and we know from the footage that we saw today that this is a prequel. Do we have an idea of an exact time period or a year, or is that something you guys are not sharing yet?
I'm bad at math.
Post the events of Civil War, right? That's what. Yeah, that was.
What? Yeah. Yes.
So post Civil War. So
Yes.
we've seen her before. So that makes sense. So well done.
I know. I read the press release. I can say that.
So I think we're running out of time unless there's anything else that you think people really need to know about this movie.
Yeah, you had some stuff to say, right, David?
Oh my God! Don't turn to me. I'll pass it off to Florence.
Yeah.
Florence, what's your favorite thing to do on set? I think people want to know this.
Yeah.
Pick my nose.
There has
You can
been a
pick
lot
your
of nose
friends,
picking.
and you can pick your
We-
nose. You can't pick your friends'
David
nose.
and I have a special friendship where when we're bored, we either pretend to be Abraham Lincoln or I pick his nose.
Can we get an Abraham
This is
Lincoln
kind of
impression?
magic.
Yeah.
It's going to be in this film.
So thank you guys so much for stopping by. This has been so much fun, and I know I can't wait to see the rest of it.
They can't edit this. I just I'm so sorry.
You're
Not
welcome.
watching live.
So thank you so
Internet.
much. So thank you so much for tuning in. That's it for us, and stay tuned to EW.com for more coverage on all things Marvel.